Well, you might be able to see the phone better at whichever place. Alright. I might need to pull this back a little bit. Ready?
Yeah. Delayed. You just sat down.
What's up, peeps? Peeps.
There's nobody in there yet. It's just you and me.
What's up, peep?
What's up, peep?
Wishing everybody happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. It's a nice Sunday.
Nice, beautiful Sunday.
Beautiful Sunday. Nice weather here in East Texas. Enjoying your peeps.
My peeps. My blue raspberry peeps.
It's a pretty plant. Yeah, well mixture. I don't know what they are, but they're beautiful. I like the purple.
So what you want to do today?
Relax, because we got to go back to work tomorrow.
Clean up.
A little bit of laundry. Maybe hang some laundry.
Yes.
Take down the mountain.
That's kind of do.
Just enjoy sitting out here. We ate breakfast out here this morning.
Yeah.
Had our coffee. That was nice.
Nice. Just being.
Just being. Gonna do some cooking later.
Some ham.
And I think I'll make some potato salad. Took that in my lunch this week. Some cheesy corn. Maybe we will record that recipe.
Never had cheesy corn until I met you. Well, that was good. It's always good.
Well, that's our friend Kathy's recipe. Or I don't know where she got it from, but she shared it with us.
I hope, if you're watching this video, I hope you've had a good Easter, and we try to make sure we instill in our kids, what today is. Easter candy, this is nice, but that's not what this is about. It's about, to me, it's the second reason for the season, without, celebrating Jesus dying for us and then, his resurrection. And nothing is possible. We wouldn't have, these plants and life. So, it's a great day to celebrate, he is risen. So, we didn't make it to church today, but we did watch it online. We're, thankful that, the church that we're going to, be attending, they broadcast every Sunday on Facebook, so we're able to watch that. And, today is, another day of Thanksgiving. Everybody celebrates, November, but, every day is Thanksgiving. You ought to be thankful for everything you've got, every day that you open your eyes, and, just be thankful somebody was willing to sacrifice themselves for you.
I'm thankful this house was available.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were lucky because, when you've got an apartment, you got people, running up above you, and, we didn't have a yard for our dog. We were without our dog for a year. We were thankful that we had, friends that were able to take care of her for over a year for us till we could find a house. But I mean, it's just thankful just to have four walls and a roof above our heads. So, and there's a lot more we'd like, but everything that we have, we are grateful for it.
Well, I guess, is that a wasp or is that a bee?
I think it's just a bee.
Okay. Probably a little too close to the flowers. It's like, I want some of that.
Well, hopefully, we can get some bees out here, and maybe that'll help our things grow. And
Some butterflies, maybe.
oh yeah, I'm really hoping we can get some ladybugs because, we're starting to find those real tiny little insects, I guess like aphids and stuff, and I know that they help take care of those. So, but it's just nice, just enjoying it. I don't even see a cloud in the sky.
No.
It's not hot. It's not cold. So couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. Yesterday we got some new plants. We transplanted some other plants we had into some containers, and we've got our hanging tomato plant. We've actually got about 4 little tomatoes on that now. So
Those are like a cherry type?
yeah, I think it's like a cherry tomato. All our peppers are starting to flower, or most of them are starting to flower, and some of them have, little tiny, peppers on it. And my ghost pepper, and I got some that's eating it up at night, but maybe that'll do something. But we just, it's looking more like spring. Enjoying it.
We need to look for something to put on your ghost pepper, maybe, so that whatever's eating it.
Yeah, I mean, if
Epsom
anybody's got any
salt.
recommendations of like some kind of solution that, I don't know, like soapy water or, I've seen so many different things that people say you can spray on plants. Let us know what you've had the best luck with, because you start on the leaves, starting to see, a lot of chunks that are just getting eaten off of them. And, I just want to try to do something, but do it naturally. I don't want to, throw any chemicals or anything like that on the plants. So, if anybody's got any recommendations, please, comment, let us know.
Hey, busy little house. How are you?
Hope you're having a good Easter. Let us know what you're doing today.
We're busy.
Busy. Because they're a busy little house.
You say you had 4 children? I think that's what you said yesterday.
That's a real busy house. Oh, man, those birds are really carrying on.
Oh, trampoline. We had one of those once upon a time.
I got more use out of trampoline than the kids.
And the squirrels.
Yeah. We had the little net enclosure around the thing. We got a squirrel that went inside and tried to get it out, and it would just run around all inside and climb up on the net. Our kids are just, they don't have anything to do with outside very much. Now this morning, my youngest, she came out, she probably spent, about 30 minutes outside with me. That's the most she's ever spent outside.
Well, I think she liked the chairs and the setup.
Well, she was asking all about her plants, which, I appreciated that, because, normally she doesn't have anything to do with nature, but she loves animals. So
what planting zone are you in? She says they still have frozen ground.
Oh gosh.
We're in 8B, I think.
I think was it last week we got down to 29, and then after that it's been pretty much in the 60s, 70s in the afternoon. Last night it still got down in the 40s, but man, I hope we're done with frost and freezes. But remember that time we went to Niagara Falls? It was June, and they still had ice chunks up there.
Like icebergs.
Yeah, and steam was coming up out of the ground where the ground was still thawing out.
Yeah,
so,
that was fun.
Hopefully everybody will start warming up, and I know somebody. Are we back?
No, it's still frozen. I mean, I got a message saying we're buffering. Oh, she's in Quebec. Hey, we went to Quebec.
How about now? Are you back?
Oh, you can hear the train? Yeah. I guess you can hear us. Are we still frozen? Maybe it's just this phone. Oh, we're back.
Technology, you've got to love it.
Yeah, there's a train. Actually, the last time we lived in, the train tracks came in from 5 directions. I don't think it's but one here.
But it goes right through the middle of town. There's a restaurant we like going to. The old train depot is right next to it, and a lot of times it kind of comes through, kind of slow. But there are a couple of times, it flies through there. So you're sitting there eating, all of a sudden everything starts shaking. And
so Busy Little House is from Quebec, and we went to Toronto and Montreal on our honeymoon.
Oh, in fact, we took the train from Toronto to Montreal, and man, you talking
about French. Yeah, he took French in high school, so
it did me no good.
It was no help. In fact, I spoke to the cab driver in Spanish. I was trying to speak in French, but my Spanish came out.
Well, Toronto, I don't know, that was more in line with, of course everybody spoke English, but when we got to Montreal, everybody speaks English, but, at that time nobody wanted to speak English. And they were telling us about the language police, how all the signs were required to put everything in French, in bigger letters. And first.
Yeah.
And we ended up eating at Burger King just about every meal.
McDonald's, quarter pounder, Bec fromage, s'il vous plaît.
And
that was fun.
And there was a park that was supposed to be open, but because of the late winter, it hadn't opened up yet.
Yeah, it was supposed to be half French style, half English style. I don't remember the name of it.
I don't know, but we didn't get a chance to do a whole lot there in Montreal just because.
Apparently everything closes at 5 on Friday. Like we had to rush to get, I think it was Burger King that day, because like restaurants, everything was closing.
It was like they closed at 5 o'clock or something. What was the underground place? Was that Toronto? And they had all the shops and I can't remember. There was like a underground shopping.
Well, our hotel, it used to be Le Méridien, and then the week before we got there, it was changed to Les Jardins, and it was a mall. It's on top of a mall.
Yeah.
But so was the York in Toronto.
We stayed at the Royal York in Toronto, which that was nice, and I don't know. It was just we were able to get around more in Toronto, but I'd still like to go back to Montreal and
now that we're older and wiser.
Yeah, and go with a group or somebody that you know.
We're a little more seasoned travelers now, and there's internet.
Yeah,
in
if
other
I had a
areas.
translator with me, I would have
Their
probably picked up.
smartphones. And,
Well, that way you got your maps and everything on your phone
Right.
too. So.
oh, her brother is one of Toronto's top detectives.
Oh. I think if I wasn't living in the United States, if, somebody said you pick any other, city outside the U.S., probably Toronto.
Yeah, it was pretty clean.
It was clean. It was very safe, and just everybody was real nice.
Super nice. Of course, we did all the touristy things, so.
Yeah, but even we had a tour guide. She took us and some people from Detroit up to Niagara Falls.
And a van full of Germans.
Yeah.
A van full of Germans. She spoke German most of the time to them.
But we had left something in the van, and anyways, we got a call from it down at the front desk, and they were like, "Your tour guide, brought this back to you. You forgot this in the van." I mean,
Ursula.
she was just
She's
super
great.
cool.
Yeah.
But Canada, I mean, that's a beautiful place.
Yeah. I like telling my students about the importance of learning a different language. And I tell them our story of getting in the cab in Montreal and your French and my Spanish in a French country.
Well, if you're not very fluent,
right.
It doesn't do you any good.
Use it or you lose it.
Yeah, I can read it better than I can speak it because I can. It's kind of like Spanish. I can pick out enough words to kind of know what they're talking about. So.
I kind of liked. She was saying it's expensive to buy a house there in Toronto. I can imagine that. But I like the drive from Toronto to Niagara Falls, the countryside, and all the vineyards we passed. I say all the vineyards. We passed several.
Well, I had somebody that sent me a bottle of ice wine, and you're talking about some really super sweet wine. That was really, really good.
That was from Toronto, wasn't it?
Yeah, she lived up near Niagara,
right.
So they were able to get some from across the border. But what was kind of neat, when we were going, you're going through all the countryside. Then
she said ice wine is a treat.
Yeah,
it is.
It was, man, that was good. But you had like the big, a Ford dealer, Ford manufacturing plant up there, just out in the middle.
And we stopped at the little market. Are they Quakers? Or Mennonites?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mennonites.
Because they had like breads and.
Yeah, at a restaurant. I think we stopped for the restaurant.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mennonites. I think they were Mennonites. But that was a nice little stop. They have produce, little market. But that was nice.
Yeah, when we go somewhere outside of our norm, we love going to like grocery stores. I try to stay away from like chain places to eat. I love eating hole in the wall places because I don't know, just you feel like it's like baseball. Sometimes you feel like minor leaguers are really giving it more than the major league players just because they're really trying harder or.
Right. She has a 10-year-old that wants to ask a question. Okay, ask your question. We live in East Texas. We're about, a little over 2 hours north of Houston, Texas. It's called Deep East, Texas. So it's kind of in between I-10, Interstate 10, and Interstate 20, and the oldest town in Texas.
Oldest town. Pine trees. They call this the piney woods. It's just pine trees everywhere. Of course, here in our yard we've got a lot of oak trees.
Right.
And
I'm looking around for the pine trees, but yeah, the pine tree curtain.
If you are allergic to pollen,
Does it get super hot? It can. Typically, like August is when it really gets hot, like when school starts up again.
well, we have the kind of weather, get up in the morning, you're about to freeze, and then by lunchtime, you better be in a short
Well, like
sleeve.
yesterday, we went to the farmer's market. We got out of the car, we put our jackets on because it was 40.
Well,
It started out with 40s, 50s that morning.
Yeah.
But by the time we got back to the car, we took our jackets off. It had gotten warm, 70s. But it does get super hot. Now, I'm from South Texas, where Texas comes a little tip, and talk about hot.
Well, that was about maybe, 10, 15 miles away from the Mexican border.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their season is summer, fall.
Summer 1, summer 2,
Yeah.
and a little cooler.
Um,
Or summer 1, summer 2, summer 3.
We don't get hardly any snow here. However, back in November, it was right before Thanksgiving. We had snow flurries, but that's pretty much all we saw
Yeah.
here. I think about every 10 years they get, kind of a decent snow. But back in North Carolina, we used to have so much snow and ice.
We do have children. We have 2 daughters. The oldest is 16 and the youngest is 11. And she's going to do a video later today. We had a Luna moth land on our kitchen window last night. And so she is interested in doing her first video for the channel. But yeah, we have 2 girls.
Let me show you what she's going to do a video on.
There's our Luna moth.
Which she named Luna.
Yes, appropriately.
Hey, I got a question. Up in Canada, I know the United States, I think it's Cadbury chocolate it's got to be different from European Cadbury chocolate. I didn't know if y'all have the chocolate that's European versus American. And I think Cadbury here is run by Hershey, so I didn't know, because they said that European chocolate is better. So I was just kidding. I love chocolate.
I'm not a big chocolate fan. It's okay. I've got to have it, with nuts in it or something. But you would make this conversation about candy. She says they have the Hershey one.
Okay. I don't know, something about European, I think it's supposed to be more rich or, I don't know, creamy or something, I don't know, but I was just curious.
We have Hershey factories from the U.S.
Okay. So what do y'all grow up there? And how long is your growing season?
That's a good question. Is that zone 1? That's probably 2, 3, 4.
I didn't know, frozen tundra.
Yes, Greenland would be zone 1. 2 days. Oh, it's going too much. YouTube will let you comment to you so long.
Oh,
I have deleted it.
that's crazy. We're still trying to learn, ins and outs on YouTube. In fact, we did our first video about, what, 5-6 weeks ago, I think.
I think so.
It was like second week of March, I think, and we just started doing live streaming. I mean, a lot of this, we're just trying to figure it out.
Their season is only from June to September, October.
Wow, that's pretty short.
Yeah. But then again, ours is kind of short because when it gets hot, unless you water it to death,
Well,
and you got shade,
yeah,
it's gonna not. I think tomatoes are probably the only thing growing, and you really got to keep them
well,
watered.
you got to keep them watered, but at the same time, you got to make sure not to overwater.
Right.
That's one thing about here, because we are so close to the Gulf Coast. We get a lot of these storms that come up, and of course, we got to worry about hurricane season, because even though not so much impacted by wind, just it's real easy for that moisture to get sucked up from the Gulf and get dumped in the Gulf Coast states.
It's like being from South Texas. We had citrus farms, orchards everywhere. In fact, my grandparents had a grapefruit orchard. And it's interesting to come up here, and we go yesterday to get, we get this lime tree that's next to Jeff there. And you have to keep those in containers because it does get too cold here.
Yeah, because, I think most of them, when you get below 40, you need to have them inside. I think we got a Persian lime, which is supposed to be a little bit more cold hardy, but still you don't want to take a chance on it being freezing. And I'm hoping it's going to do something, but that was kind of the advice we got from everybody is don't plant anything in the ground. As far as a citrus tree, just keep it in a container. I think in about 2 years we've got to move it to a larger container. And then 2 years after that, it's going to be in a container that it'll stay, the rest of its life.
She says she gets nuts and plants a little early. I can understand that. We end up with way less pests than anywhere in the U.S.
That's nice.
Yeah, and get less garden issues. And she says we don't have any poisonous anything, hardly ever. Anyways, it's super rare.
That's really good, because that's one thing you got to worry about around here. Snakes. I've seen a lot of posts where people have been putting copperhead pictures, and you got to worry about cottonmouths and just.
Well, and then we have poison ivy, and which I had actually never seen poison ivy until we saw the Broussard's video the other day. It was yesterday. I've never actually seen poison ivy. I've had friends who touched it and had to put stuff all over themselves, but I've never actually seen it.
We got a lot. Well, I work for a pharmacy, and we do a lot of EpiPens for a lot of kids and adults. Are allergic to bees and wasps, that type of thing, and which bees are welcome. That's what keeps everything going. But as far as wasps, what in the world are they for? Wasps and hornets.
To annoy us.
Golly days. In fact, right on the front of our house, which Susan saw yesterday, wasp is trying to build a nest up there. So
she said, because I plant for the long off season, so lots of squash, anything that I can dehydrate, can or anything like that.
What kind of dehydrator do you have? Because that's something that we've been, wanting to look at.
Kind of researching what the best model is or type.
See, this is my thinking. We're going to try to do, we're growing a lot of different types of peppers. And what I'd like to do is, I guess, dehydrate some, maybe be able to ground them up into the powder.
She says the cheap kind. That'll be us.
Well, they run what I've seen anywhere from like $50 on up to a couple of hundred, but I mean, I would think, pretty much maybe a dehydrator is a dehydrator, or
yeah, I don't want one with big holes in it though, because some stuff's small. So I like that kind of white one we saw with the.
It starts with an N.
Nesco?
Yeah.
Nesco. So many people get rid of them, so I picked up 3 from the used stores here for less than 10 each.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I need to do is
Well,
check there.
so we've got a lot of thrift stores, Goodwill. Just need to really start hitting those.
We get some jars too.
Yeah. One of the things I want to try to do this year is, assuming we can, get some, good peppers. I'd like to try to make pepper jelly.
Pepper jelly. I'm gonna try some like pineapple cayenne or pineapple habanero or some jams or preserves or whatever they're called.
Is that your jam?
Jams are a jam. Yeah. Try some sugar-free ones because I can't have a lot of sugar.
That's because I'm sweet enough.
Because he brings home this kind of stuff. And chocolate. Let's bring chocolate.
We don't need that much chocolate. In fact, we've really cut back as far as on sugar.
Yeah. Really just holidays. And then we eat it up through the next. Sometimes I take it to school.
Well, we still have Halloween candy.
Halloween candy. This is the time of year where I start kind of gathering up the stuff we didn't eat and put it in my prize jar at school.
Right now, we've still got Halloween. We've got Christmas. Because
She loves chocolate too. Y'all would be best friends.
We still got some of the Hershey Kisses, the peppermint ones, and the hot chocolate ones.
Or even the ones from Valentine's with the lava.
Yeah,
the lava Hershey Kisses. I find those things for him.
But I don't eat very much of it. We don't really have a lot of soft drinks either. We've done pretty good to cut back on that. We always usually keep, we'll go to like Sam's, have like one of those big cases of water, and the kids drink a lot of water, so that's good.
She says peppers are so pricey there, so I'm going to have a lot this year.
Well, we've got a lot that are flowering, and I've got, this is my, well, you can't see it, I've got a ghost pepper over here. What is this? This is the poblano. And then the jalapeno. Yeah, that one's flowering, so.
And we've got a giant Marconi.
Yeah, that's flowering.
We got the purple bell pepper, the regular bell pepper.
Got a lot of
cayenne, the jalapeno.
Jalapeno. I don't know. We've got we got one of those big barrels.
They're mishmash because we don't know what they are. Which ones are which?
Well, we went to the farmer's market and they had a plant farm. They were a plant farm.
Correct.
And anyways, the little trays that we got, they didn't have.
Well, like one or two of the little plants in there were marked or labeled, but not every little 6-pack had a tag in it. So most of our 6-packs that we peeled off the bigger pack didn't have and then the kid put them all together to count them up. And it's like, whoa, where did that one come from?
Well, so a lot of this stuff we're just going to be surprised.
Yeah, surprise peppers.
I mean, we're going to eat them anyway. So, and even if it had a tag, I probably wouldn't even remember what it was. And do you do most of your things as seeds, or do y'all buy, the plants already started, or?
She says they have mixed up plants.
Okay.
So good thing they don't live where pretty matters.
Oh.
This just looks nice to us right now, but of course everything's in containers because we rent.
Yeah, so we're not able to put anything in the ground. I guess we could if we wanted to, but
it's kind of sandy soil though. Maybe strawberries would have grown well in the sandy soil. She said seed empty. Yeah.
But that's so. We kind of got into all this a little bit late, and in fact, a couple of giveaways that Susan won. We were able to get some seeds, and so we're kind of looking at doing that this winter, and that'll be a whole new step for us. And I don't know, I mean, right now, just because we're starting off doing this stuff, we bought the plants. Some of them didn't survive.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's, I guess, like any time, you know, you do something, it's not going to be 100%, but, you know, I mean, most of it looks pretty good right now. We got some Bonnie plants, which, you know, I know some people say, I'm not going to ever use them, you know, just, you know, for different reasons, but, you know, some of them came from, you know, like an independent plant farm who raised them. Yeah. And we try to do local when we can, but, you know, there's some things, at least for us, the only place you can get is at Lowe's or Home Depot. So, you know, just do what we can do.
Yeah.
But, you know, all this is, you know, learning experience for us. And, you know, if it doesn't, grow, hey, we tried and we'll try again next year.
Right. And starting with things we like as well. I mean, like, in general, that we both like. You know, tomatoes.
Yeah,
raw tomatoes.
Well, one of our favorite things with tomatoes, especially, you know, if you get, we do more with the cherry and the patio where you cut them in half. We put Italian seasoning or Italian dressing and, you know, kind of marinate it in that and then throw some Parmesan cheese and stick that under the broiler. And she'll eat that. I can eat a tomato sandwich anytime. I love tomatoes.
I'll eat it on occasion on a burger if it's a thinly sliced, big one slice on my burger, but no.
Yeah, I just, you know.
But I like canned tomatoes, tomato sauce, ketchup. Because my mom always said, well, you eat ketchup, that's tomatoes.
But I'm kind of funny where, like, spaghetti sauce, I don't like spaghetti sauce to be real chunky with tomatoes. But I can eat a raw tomato.
She said she's, being married to a Spaniard. He can eat a garden's worth of veggies in a setting. And she loves tomato sandwiches. But he puts mustard. I know a lot of people put mayonnaise, but he doesn't do mayonnaise.
Even though that's egg.
So your favorite sandwich with tomato is probably a BT bacon or BMT bacon mustard tomato.
Yeah.
Mine's a BMW bacon and Miracle Whip. No tomatoes, no lettuce.
Yeah, I love it. If we got some.
She said, ew, mustard. Yeah, I put a tiny bit of mustard just for spiciness, but he puts it on both slices.
I can eat mustard on just about anything. And
tuna melt. Is that with canned tuna or like a tuna steak? The gnats are out today. I grew up on Miracle Whip, so.
even though that's supposed to be like a salad dressing.
Yeah, it's a salad dressing. It's not even. I'll do mayonnaise in a dip or something.
That ruins it for me.
Canned tuna. I like canned tuna.
Oh, but it's got to be in water, not oil.
Yeah, not packed in oil. Mm-mm. No way.
But see, I won't eat like.
It's all on what you're raised on. It really is.
Well, I won't eat tuna out of a can, but I like a tuna steak and to grill that. She doesn't like that.
Don't. I don't know why.
I don't either. But
I do like my tuna, like just tuna. Make some Miracle Whip on toast. And Cheetos.
Yeah, well,
I like Cheetos on my tuna sandwich.
I pack her lunch every day, and if I make
I do Cheetos, not cheese.
when I do a tuna sandwich for her, I got to make sure it's got Cheetos on it.
This guy makes my lunch pretty much every single day for the last 22 years. Well, all but 1 year because I was here, you were there. In the middle of moving.
Yeah.
Well, that was rough making my own lunch. Did not know what to pack.
Well, and our youngest one, I would make her lunch, but she got to the point where she's starting to eat more in the lunchroom now, so that makes it a little bit easier and gives her a little bit more variety.
Yeah, because she was just
she's
a bacon
so picky.
sandwich.
She's so picky.
Bacon sandwich or a cheese and mustard sandwich. Oh, like sliced Kraft cheese. said she's calling her hubby up from work to listen to this part. Yeah, well, we, meeting each other, we've gotten each other to learn to eat other things, and other things we just can't convince each other to eat.
Well, and by living in different parts of the country too, you start experiencing, like, she never had crabs before, and so out there in North Carolina, we'd always have like blue crabs that we would have steamed. Of course, I didn't ever have crawfish till went to Louisiana, and I only went to Louisiana because of Susan.
You're welcome. Laissez le bon temps roulé. I do know a little French.
Brisket, out on the East Coast, everything was pretty much pork, and when you move to Texas, if you don't eat beef, then
She said her kids are almost 12, 10, and 2. Well, her 16-year-old, she went through that nugget phase.
Yeah, she was real super picky, and
one day in the car, I remember she said, we're going to McDonald's, I guess, and I said, you want nuggets again? She said, no, I think today I'll try a cheeseburger. And ever since then, she's been open to trying some new things, and sometimes she won't. She doesn't want to, but she has, she's broccoli. That's amazing.
I don't touch broccoli. That stinks to me. But she...
Our 11-year-old, nope. But she'll eat things that the 16-year-old won't eat.
Well, she'll eat grits. She likes rice, which Meredith doesn't like.
Yeah, the oldest doesn't like.
Trying to think if there's anything else that is unique to her. But our oldest one, once it kind of started clicking that, oh yeah, there's some other foods out there besides just nuggets and stuff. It's not a whole lot she doesn't eat now.
Oh, and a 7-year-old. I thought you said 4, but I was thinking maybe there was twins in there, and a 7-year-old. 2 and 7, man, we went through that. Remember that?
Yeah, when you've got that 5-year age difference, that's Meredith and Katie are 5 years different.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't that bad.
No, it just seems so long ago now.
Well,
16 and 11 now.
Yeah, but man, I'd do anything to have that back too. Cause
some days.
Man, kids, they grow up so quick.
Yeah.
And in fact,
But see, now they can help with the laundry.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, we're like, gosh, we're not able to do this anymore, or, they're not into that anymore. And that's, I don't know, sometimes a little depressing, but.
4 is a good number. I was number 3 out of 4. Jeff doesn't know about that many.
No.
He was 1 out of 2, and then we just had 2. Well, after the first one, I used to want 3, because I was number 3. And after the first one, I was like, well, we'll have 1 more, and that is it.
Yeah, I think once you get past your first kid, it's a whole lot easier. It's kind of like that commercial where they're bathing their first kid, real softly,
Yeah.
and by the second one, they throw the kid into the shower.
She was 4 out of 6.
Oh wow! Well, at least you were higher up on the totem pole.
Yeah. Well, you were too. You picked on your sister.
Yeah.
Then he thought he could do that to me.
No, I didn't.
He still teases me. But I remind him I have 3 brothers.
And then I feel sorry for him.
Yeah. You weren't that bad. I wasn't the youngest. And I had my own room, so it was nice.
So, as far as on YouTube, do you have, how many subscribers?
We have 277.
Wow, that's...
Now 277. That's good.
Yeah. We've been kind of sitting at what?
It was in the 130s. Now we're in the 150s.
Yeah. And
That's pretty good for only doing it for about 2 months.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, I'm just happy with one person, watches my stuff, and she gets tired of listening to me all the time. At least I feel like somebody else
Can take a turn.
And but I don't know. To me, it's all about learning, and even if somebody's kind of like you, where you're not in the same area, maybe if you're interested in knowing what are we able to grow and how's it working, because I mean I'm interested in what other people in other parts of this continent are able to do, and because it's so many varieties of weather and for soil, but I don't know. To me, it's all a learning experience.
Yeah. Well, I like seeing. Well, I like learning stuff like the broussards yesterday with the poison ivy. I had never seen poison ivy. I don't know if they had that in South Texas. And when we lived in North Carolina, I didn't know what to look for, but I know people.
Oh, we had tons of poison ivy, poison oak.
Yeah. It just wasn't anywhere where we, our house or yard or anything.
But I don't know. To me, YouTube is just about building community.
Right. And just watching the people cook. I like trying new things.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of recipes that people have been posting.
I do like looking at product reviews. If people have tried different things. There's the dehydrator. We watched a few different videos. Not so much for what they're dehydrating, but what are they using.
Yeah, because it might be we don't even dehydrate what they're doing, but for us it would just be experimental as far as what works good for us.
So they have poison ivy up there, but I do like learning. Just watch other people how they do things.
Oh, yeah, there are so many people that are really, really entertaining. I don't know. People might look at us and say, "Oh my gosh, they're like boring," or don't have a clue what they're talking about. But
I like listening to accents. I can tell when I'm watching someone from Canada. Eh?
Yeah.
A boot.
A boot.
Did y'all say a boot? But we love that. We love. Jeff likes to try to figure out where in Texas someone's from.
Oh, I can tell somebody from like the Dallas area because it's not nice, it's nice. That's a nice car.
Of course, Texas accents, I guess, to me all seem the same, but North Carolina accents are all different.
Yeah. There's a place over.
She says she's not offended. Good. I love accents. I love trying to figure out what people are from.
Well, just there's so many different dialects, and
it's fun.
But you also learn words that you didn't know what the meaning was.
Well, I was from South Texas, and when I came up here to East Texas to go to college, everybody's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, South Texas. And they're like, "You don't have an accent." I was like, "Well, we don't really have accents in South Texas. Houston has accents, and Dallas."
Now, when I first met or started talking to Susan, she'd say go.
Go and so.
She was like, "You take so long saying go."
Yeah, you did. You put a lot of O's in it.
Plus North Carolina, we always had that's my nice. Oh, that was my Dallas dialect. That was a nice. That was a. What did I say? That's.
Shouldn't say a boot. She says roof. Roof? You say roof? Instead of roof?
Well, it's like oil. Oil.
It's oil.
Oil. I always say oil.
It's Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
It's kind of like Brett Favre.
Worcestershire. My 10th grade English teacher had me repeat it for everybody. My mom's, she had a teacher.
Of course, she had a teacher that would say Arkansas.
Oh. That was
It's not Arkansas.
that was
it's
my fourth grade
Arkansas.
teacher. That was the last time I corrected a teacher because she called my mom. The river, I think, is Arkansas, but the state is not.
Well, that's like North Carolina had Beaufort, but South Carolina had Beaufort. Spelled the same exact way.
Well, it's like Lafayette and Lafayette and Fayetteville.
Lafayette.
Lafayette, and then there's Lafayette.
Lafayette.
But they say it's like Beaufort or Beaufort. They say
Yeah.
it different.
Yeah, it's a big world, so
And then there's the whole across the country, what you call barbecue. The first time I went out in North Carolina, Jeb's like, let's go get some barbecue. Okay.
oh, joke's on her.
I opened the plate. I was, the little styrofoam plate. I was like, what is this? This is not barbecue. But barbecue to them is pork, pulled pork.
Well,
And it's a vinegar sauce. Let me tell you, that's some potent stuff.
but here in
Hey, reap what you sow.
here in Texas, it's a noun and a verb.
Oh,
Because barbecue like brisket, or barbecue like I'm gonna go cook something.
like on the grill.
Yeah, you don't say grilling. You say I'm gonna go barbecue.
Well, grill could be a noun and a verb too.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, but we call it barbecue.
Well, yeah. Going back to Toronto, outside the Royal York, right down the block, had a big old
It's a restaurant.
yeah. It was a Texas flag, or it was, what was it? It was Texas something, but it was
Yeah.
Texas barbecue there.
So in Texas, beef is king. Brisket.
Well, one thing I've learned, Texas isn't just a state; it's a state of mind.
Amen.
Because you're talking about the most proud state. Everything has got the state logo. People hate each other, but man, you talk about Texas, they're going to get together and whoop somebody.
I don't know if they do that in other states, but in Texas, everything is a Coke unless it's Dr. Pepper. What kind of Coke would you like? And you tell them what kind of Coke you want. They say, but would you like a Coke or Dr. Pepper?
And getting back to soft drinks in Canada, that was the one thing. We went to the CN Tower and ate dinner up there. And, you get a soft drink, of course, no ice.
Yeah.
And also we learned that if you ask for tea, it comes in a kettle.
A hot tea.
Yeah. Here, iced tea.
So we went to Montreal Expos baseball game, and we sat in the section where I guess it's just in that section. They come and take your order. So I said I wanted popcorn and a Coke, and she brought back popcorn and a water. So I guess she heard me say "oh" for water. Hey, Pete's Little Homestead. I love me some Dr. Pepper. But in Texas, we also drink Big Red.
That's a whole nother drink that nobody, if you're out of the state, never
This
heard
is becoming a Texas versus North Carolina thing.
No, in
They
fact,
have cheer wine in North Carolina.
I've never had cheer wine, so I don't even know what stuff
It's
is.
cherry tasting.
Yeah, but I've never had it. Hey, new guys, we're just sitting here, enjoying.
Oh, Big Red's a soda. Kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't taste anything like the gum.
No, it's not cinnamon. It's more like a cream soda. It's red colored.
But they also have big pineapple and big blue,
Yeah, so you get a big blue one or a big yellow one. But Big Red is
the flagship of.
you can get popsicles.
We're going to do a video, probably in the next week or so of.
Texas things.
Yeah, I was going to say Texas-isms, but there's more things that are local to Texas.
Right.
That's like our gas station. I mean, it's about an hour away from here, the one that we're talking about. But I mean, that's kind of like the mecca of gas stations.
Oh, yeah. We'll put that in our video.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I mean, that's a place that, I don't know, it's not like a sit-go or something.
No.
It's like the Walmart of gas stations.
Oh, but it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot cleaner. So so other things like it's growing season in Texas. We're kind of getting near the end of crawfish season.
Well, the very end is like
They were in the middle.
about the May, June.
Right.
We're getting near
crawfish.
blueberry season. That'll be coming up in June, May, June. We went to the farmer's market yesterday. Had a guy out there. He was selling blueberry bushes, and he had one that was probably I don't know how big the container was. It was probably 20-gallon container.
So.
I mean, it was a huge one, but I mean,
it was full of berries.
And he said this year he didn't prune it, and it would have had more if he had pruned it. But I really want to get that blueberry bush, because back when we lived in North Carolina, we tried growing some, and we even got like the one, it's 2 different types of blueberries that were supposed to cross-pollinate or something. And anyways, we didn't ever get anything off of it, but we love blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, here in Nacogdoches, in June, they have the State Blueberry Festival, which is a real big deal here.
We're going to miss it again.
Yeah.
Family reunion, though.
Well,
it's more important.
Well, you don't get to see your family but so often, but Blueberry Festival is every year.
Right.
So.
And we have blueberry farms, and we can go pick blueberries.
Yeah, in fact, when we go do that in June, we'll do a video of that, because that was pretty fun. I had never picked blueberries before. Right now, you've got some farms around that are doing strawberries. You can go out and pick your own strawberries. We're trying to grow some strawberries, and I mean, we're
not the best strawberry growers.
Well, I mean, that's experimental. We're just trying, and we'll see what happens with those. But what else is growing right now? Of course, citrus down south of us. That's more of like during the winter time, like between November and March, probably is the biggest time of that.
She says her blueberry bushes are flooded right now.
Oh gosh, you're lucky. We love blueberries. We have blueberry pancakes.
Oh, that was a nice blueberry bush yesterday. He's talking about that on our video at the market yesterday.
Golly days, man. Well, he wanted $50 for it, but he had some small ones that were like about 15.
But you need a truck. We have a minivan.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in there. And but I'd like to get just even 1 or 2 of the small ones, and just it might take a few years, but
yeah.
And then eventually when we move, we just carry it with us.
Yeah, we're trying to sell our house in North Carolina, so I want to pray on that.
Yeah, our house has been on the market for going on 2 years, and just in that town is not.
It's trying.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people, moving there. So
a lot of people are leaving.
But anyways, once we can sell that house and get something that's ours again, then we're hoping to have some land, but
get some chickens, some goats, rabbits. I'll stop there. Maybe a duck.
I mean, I want to be able to. I want to, grow some citrus trees. Of course. We saw an avocado tree yesterday.
Oh my gosh! In South Texas, my grandparents. These are my paternal grandparents. They had a grapefruit orchard. There were a couple rows of oranges that they grew, but they also had a huge avocado tree. And I would love. It's gonna take years to grow that tall.
Well, we'd like to. I don't need them, but she loves pecans.
Oh yeah.
Now that was a big thing in North Carolina. A lot of people have pecan trees. Of course, out there, what pecan? It was pecan.
Stop that.
Pecan.
Don't start. If you're gonna say something, say it right.
So when I moved here, I had to start saying pecan. That way people wouldn't look at me funny.
So every Thanksgiving that we have at his parents' house, my father-in-law and I go at it. He's like, we got some, how do you say it? I won't even say it. It says
pecan.
Pecan pie. I'm like, well, no, if you had some pecan pie, I'd have a slice, though.
So Susan's like, a pecan, that's that thing beside your bed.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to go to the bathroom.
Back in the old days. That's a pecan.
Now we did go. We went to down in the valley last year, and
Rio Grande Valley.
yeah, this guy. We went to this ice cream place, and he said he wanted some pecan, and we're like, "What the heck is that? What is a pecan?"
Yeah, he was mashing them together.
Yeah.
Dude, pick one.
Because we both looked at each other and were like,
He knew. I heard the guy say that, and I just had to walk away. Walk away.
hey, but everybody can say anything they want, how they want to say it.
As long as you like them. For those who don't like pecans, more for me.
Well, see, I used to like them. Then my uncle used to make me climb a tree and shake them out of the tree, and I think that's what broke me.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
Maybe so.
There's a lot of different things we want to try to grow once we get some land.
Well, I'm being married almost 22 years. Next month. We've learned a lot about each other. We learned that, you complete me. I think you're one who...
I'm like, well, let me show you. No, I don't need to.
We had a computer at our house. You did too. When we were little kids, Commodore 64.
Commodore 64, Texas Instruments 99-4A.
And by the time we got them in school, I'd already had one in my house for 6 years and or so. I knew tricks and could impress people. And I can Google Drive, that kind of stuff.
It's
I just don't want to learn it.
Well, it's kind of like math. They say that you need to know math. Well, if you've got a calculator, you don't need to. I mean,
they were buffering. Oh man. Oh, should be good.
The back.
Yeah. So, I think like he's good at grilling meats and stuff, and I'm absolutely terrible at cooking meats or grilling meats. I can maybe do a hot dog.
That's pretty sad.
Well, I don't care to do it. I mean, I do. After that, what's the point? But I do some things. Well, you could probably do all those things too.
Well, there are a few things I couldn't do, like the etouffee.
Yeah. All right. So here's a question. Busy Little House asked. So where would you look for a home if your place sold?
I really like it in this area. We lived about 20 minutes away from here over a place called Lufkin. I mean, it's basically, exactly the same as here. It's that town was a city. It's about 32,000 people, same as here in Nacogdoches. Weird thing is, Nacogdoches, where we live now, is a college town. It's got, I don't know, to me, a more vibrant downtown. It's got like a lot of antique shops, a lot of mom and pop type shops. It's got a few restaurants down there.
Downtown's happening.
Yeah.
And it's brick streets downtown.
Yeah, I mean, they with it being a historical city, Lufkin, where we just moved from, I don't know, it's more like...
Or commercial?
Yeah, it's more like a metro type city where it's got a lot of your big box stores, like Best Buy,
Bed Bath & Beyond, Ross.
A lot of your chain restaurants.
It's got Academy.
I kind of like it here in this area, but maybe something outside the city limits where that way you can have your animals. A whole lot.
Check that.
Is it back?
Yep. You're always telling us back because your seat's empty.
But I think, the same area, just maybe 5 or 10 miles out in the country. Maybe not even that far out.
Yeah, so same area out in the country where we can have animals, not a ton of animals, not a
Keep us busy and enough to,
enough
do
land,
what we need or what we want, as far as.
enough room to do stuff.
Yeah. She wants a tractor so she can get out there and
Tractor.
Just cut.
Is that a verb? I want a tractor. I want a tractor so I can tractor.
Where we're living right now, interstate that's going to run from Mexico up to Canada is actually going to go right through here.
Pete's little homestead, he said he's in the country and nearest town is 12 miles.
Now, where do you live, Pete?
And busy little house is 15 minutes from town.
I mean, that's not bad. Now, when we
have so many little towns, I don't think we could ever be that far from a town.
And it depends on how close how big the next biggest town is, too.
It might be like a blink or you'll miss it kind of crossroads.
Well, it's like when we lived in North Carolina, we were about an hour and a half away from any real city. Yeah, we had a grocery store and McDonald's and stuff like that, but as far as a real store,
Super Walmart.
I'm not a big fan of Walmart. Walmart's one of those places where even though you hate it, you still have to go just because they've got things that you need.
Yeah. It's cheaper.
I do like the Walmart here where you can order something online. They've got like this big orange thing in the middle where you go up there and you scan your phone and it already has the item picked out. You just pick it up and leave.
Pete's Little Homestead is in Greenup County, Kentucky.
Hey, how far away is McCracken County? My last name is McCracken. I don't have any family. I don't even know any other McCrackens, but
And little busy house. Her hubby works an hour from home in Montreal, so they're an hour from Montreal.
Which, I mean, in the hour from a big city like that's kind of like, even Houston, with it being about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, we can get up in the morning and go there, and we can get anything that we want, but, the grocery stores have everything that we need right now.
Right.
But what we'd like to do is be able to cut those grocery store visits back by eventually, supplying our own stuff.
Right. A little more self-sufficient.
Well, I mean, like, tomatoes. I'd love to have like a bunch of them where we can put them up, freeze them, make our own sauce, that sort of thing. And what it would probably do is keep us from eating a lot of the crappy processed foods that we eat.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which we didn't when we were kids. We didn't eat a lot of that, and our kids, are eating that. Like I know my mom would buy Kraft macaroni and cheese, but we didn't have that all the time. But everything else was. She'd occasionally, I guess, open canned veggies and stuff, but my grandparents supplied us with a lot of stuff.
Well, I think the problem nowadays is, you're looking for convenience, and the things that are convenient.
Sure. Busy little house is about an hour from Ottawa, also a little over an hour from Montreal. And Pete says he's a long ways from McCracken County. He's on the Ohio River.
Okay. We went through Louisville. Where else?
Well, we came up through West Virginia, went up into Ohio. So say we've been there and came back across the river.
Yeah, we crossed the bridge.
And then went through Kentucky, down through west of Nashville, over to Memphis. Headed to Memphis.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kentucky is beautiful
It was.
with all those pastures and of
Oh,
course
the horses.
horse farms.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was pretty out there. And I mean, you remember how green that grass was?
Yes.
And that was even in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Now up in Canada, where y'all are, man, y'all are right in the middle of hockey country.
Yeah, we do love some hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know, are we Stars fans now? Or are we still Hurricane fans?
Well, Hurricanes got mess beat out of them last night, 6-0 by the Caps. But Stars are still in it.
So Jeff is eternally mad at me because on our honeymoon we went to Toronto. We went to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
And she wanted to go to Casa Loma, and she said, "Come on, we got to go."
Well, we have to. Time is right now.
I went all the way up there to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Didn't even see the Stanley Cup because she wanted to go to Casa Loma.
So that's why we have to go back. And we're not going to Casa Loma. We're just going to spend the entire day.
So the highlight of Casa Loma was the elevator and the boudet.
Okay, I love hockey, but I actually enjoyed Casa Loma more. And then we got home a week later and there was a movie that had been filmed there. Countess something or other. So, well, we about ready to end this right now. It's starting to get a little warm.
Yeah, that sun is really coming out.
I don't think I'm ready for a tan. Not today.
I appreciate y'all stopping by and
Yeah.
spending some time with us. And, I think this is one of these things you can kind of get addicted. You feel like you're talking, with people, and you're learning about them.
She
And
said, "Sun?" Question mark. Clear skies too.
we've got the sun just getting ready to cross the tree line, and of course then it's gonna really be on the plants out here. So they'll enjoy it.
But thanks for joining us today, you guys. We'll do maybe another one next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully maybe we'll have some new stuff. I'm gonna try to go pick up some blueberry bushes, small ones.
It's gonna have to fit in the van,
Yeah,
or
small.
maybe it can hang out in the window. I don't know. All right. Well, peace out.
Yeah, y'all have a happy Easter and have a great day. See y'all.
She said she had a nice coffee with us.